Hello and welcome. Welcome to the Medicare 101 online seminar. Today in this webinar, I'll be teaching you everything you need to know about turning 65 and going on to Medicare for the first time. So it looks like everyone is getting logged in here. We're going to go ahead and just begin, and everyone can catch up as they come in. But before we do that, let me just take a brief moment to explain who I am and why you should be listening to this today. So my name is Jordan Schwabe. I am the owner at Endurance Financial and Insurance Group. We are an independent insurance agency here in New Braunfels, Texas. So whether you're tuning in from here in Texas or many of the other states that we're in, we are licensed to help you, and you'll find this educational seminar very helpful in your transition to Medicare at age 65 or otherwise. So let's go ahead and dive right into the content today. A little housekeeping tip: you're going to want to make sure that you have a pen and paper so that you can take plenty of notes during our short time together today. We're going to be going over really everything from A to Z as far as what is Medicare and what the different options are for you. We're going to build a roadmap together, which really is going to show you, what steps you need to take and in what order as you transition to Medicare. So go ahead and grab that pen and paper, grab a cup of coffee or whatever your favorite beverage is, and let's go ahead and begin. So I'm going to share my screen here with you. If you're like me, you're, like to have something to follow along visually. So real quick, one more thing I did want to mention before we begin. There's going to be 2 free major bonus items that you're going to be getting today throughout the course of this presentation. I would give them to you now, but you really wouldn't know how to use them or what to even do with them. So you're going to want to make sure that you stick around to the end, and we'll make sure that I get those free bonus items to you. These really are going to walk you through exactly what you need to know, you as an individual, because there are a lot of, hundreds of people in this training today. So specifically for you and your situation, what you'll need to know in your journey to Medicare. So kind of starting from the beginning, right? Original Medicare is made up of Part A and Part B. So Part A is your hospital coverage. This actually has a monthly premium of $0 per month. So as long as you have worked for at least 10 years and paid in taxes, or even if a spouse has done that, that has gone to help pay for your Part A coverage. So $0 monthly premium there for you. Then on the flip side, we have Medicare Part B, which is your doctor coverage. And in 2023, the monthly premium for that is $164.90. So that is something that's going to be automatically withdrawn from your Social Security check if you're receiving Social Security, which we're gonna get into that. But just as a quick recap, Part A is your hospital coverage, $0 monthly premium. This does cover your room and board when you're formally admitted to the hospital, that kind of thing. Then over here we have Medicare Part B, which is your doctor coverage, doctor bills, surgeries, physical therapies, all of that kind of thing is covered under Part B. And make sure you write this down. Monthly premium is $164.90. $164.90. So if you are currently receiving Social Security, this is an automatic enrollment. If you are receiving or have signed up to receive Social Security benefits, you'll automatically be enrolled into Medicare Part A and Part B. You'll receive your ID cards 3 months prior to your birthday, and the $164.90 will automatically be withdrawn from your Social Security check. So go ahead and write that down. It's an automatic process. You'll likely never even see the $164.90 charge because it's automatically it's taken from your Social Security payment before you ever receive the check or the deposit. So just know that if you are currently receiving Social Security, it's a pretty simple automated process. If you decide to delay your Social Security, You know, maybe you decide to delay until you're 65 or 70, whatever you decide. That's not a problem at all. You can still enroll into Part A and B. And these are different options you have to do so. I highly recommend in today's day and age, go ahead and just go to this website here. It's a pretty simple process to begin the enrollment. Don't worry about writing this link down, because at the end of this presentation, you're going to have an opportunity to sign up for a one-on-one phone call with myself, and I'll make sure to get that link over to you. I can email it to you, text it to you, whatever you prefer. There's some other options you can do as well. You can do it over the phone. Again, don't worry about writing the number down. I will get that to you. You can do it in person if you're more traditional, old school. Go into the local Social Security office and they'll get you taken care of. You can also mail in that application if you so desired to. Then the way billing works is obviously you're not receiving Social Security, so they're going to send you a direct bill. This will be billed quarterly, so once every 3 months, you'll be billed for the $164.90 times 3 months. That comes out to, in 2023, $494.70. There are plenty of payment options when you do get that bill in, so I'll make sure to share those with you. Just remember to ask me what those different options are if that's something that you're wanting to know. So when does the coverage begin? This is the big question, right? So your coverage begins the first day of your birth month. This is really important to remember. You might want to write this down even. So my birthday is September 12th, so my Medicare will begin on September 1st, right? Pretty simple, easy to understand. Just make sure you remember that. The first day of your birth month. There's one exception to that. If your birthday lands on the first of the month, then your Medicare will actually begin on the first of the prior month. So, example, if you were born on December 1st, your Medicare will actually begin a month prior on November 1st. So, if you are 1 in a million, then congratulations, because you get your Medicare a month earlier than everybody else. So, if you're still working, if you're still on your employer's plan, I know there's a few people in this group that are in that scenario. Not to worry, there's definitely some options for you. One is you can enroll in Medicare effective your 65th birth month. And then option 2 would be you can delay your Part B of your Medicare until you retire. So real quick, I just wanted to mention, if this is not you, if you're not still on your employer plan, don't worry. I'm only going to touch on this for about another minute and we'll move right on. But if it is you, just remember you have these two options, and it can be very specific to your situation as far as, is your employer going to continue to offer you coverage when you turn 65? What is the quality of that coverage? If it's very expensive, it might make more sense to just get on Medicare. But keep in mind you do have the option to delay your Part B, because remember, Part A is no cost to you. Part B does cost you $165 a month. So if you're going to stay on your employer's plan, you'll make sure to delay the Part B so you don't pay that $164.90. And there are ways to do that without receiving any type of penalties. We're just going to want to make sure that we cross your I's and dot your T's, right? And so, because there are penalties that can be incurred, but just make sure that when we talk one-on-one in our phone call after this presentation, we dive specifically into your situation, and we'll make sure that you don't incur any of those penalties. So moving along, Part A hospital coverage, this comes with a deductible, which is your responsibility, of $1,600 for each hospital stay. Okay. This is why at the top here, major exposures of Medicare, right? This is a major exposure. Say you only go to the hospital once and you have to pay $1,600. May not be a big deal, but imagine if you go to the hospital 6 times in a year. Now you're responsible for 6 times $1,600. You do the math. Most of us, including myself, don't have that kind of money laying around. So we're going to want to make sure to cover the gap, the exposure, even, plug the holes that are in original Medicare, if you will. Part B also has some exposures. So you can see here the deductible is $226 per calendar year. That is what's going to be your responsibility, right? Which $226 isn't bad. However, as you see here, the coinsurance is where it can be an issue because you're responsible for 20% of any bills that you incur. So Medicare pays 80% and you're responsible for 20%. So that might not be a big deal. If you say have, a $200 medical bill, you might be paying $40, not a big problem. But imagine if you had a $100,000 bill from a major surgery or otherwise, which we all know in today's day and age, it's not very difficult to rack up a $100,000 bill, right? So in that scenario, if you're responsible for 20%, that is $20,000 that you would have to pay on your part. And again, I don't know about you, but I don't have $20,000 laying around to pay for a surgery or some other type of medical scenario that might have arose. So just keep that in mind. These are the major exposures of Medicare, but don't worry because, again, I'm going to show you the different ways that we can plug these holes in your Medicare and eliminate these exposures. One more thing to mention on the Part B doctor coverage is the Part B excess charge. You may have to pay 15% more if that doctor does have the Part B excess charge, which to better explain that to you, the way it works is Medicare has negotiated certain rates that they can charge for certain procedures, and between Medicare and the doctor facility or the hospital, they agree to only charge X amount. However, they are able to charge up to 15% over that negotiated rate. Most doctors don't charge that today, but we really don't know what the future holds. So that's going to be another exposure that we'll make sure to get covered, right? So the two main options you have to cover these exposures, to plug these holes, right, are Medicare Supplement and Medicare Advantage. So Medicare Advantage, I'm sure that you've seen these on TV, maybe every other day or maybe every other commercial, right? They're widely advertised. You probably also get a bunch of calls from call centers about these. Kind of a quick side note I do like to say, because I'm very passionate about this subject. The call centers, the way those work is they pay individuals to call and enroll as many people as they can on a daily basis. So what happens is they tell you everything you want to hear, right? Just to get you off the phone, to get you to say yes. And they say, hey, reach out to us anytime you need us. The difficulty is that individual that you talk to on the phone, that's probably the last time you'll ever talk to them, because when you call back, it's a 1-800 number. It's a call center, and you're going to be on hold for hours and hours and probably still not get the answers that you're looking for. So that's really what we pride ourselves on is, never having anyone on hold. When you call, you're never calling a call center. You're calling my office. You're either talking to me or some of our support team, etc. So I know I got off a little track there, but again, I'm passionate about that. So again, though, Medicare Supplement and Medicare Advantage are drastically different. And so we're going to take a little bit of time to kind of dissect these two differences, the two different options. Again, I know I do talk a little fast, but, if there's something I skipped over that you had a question about, I do see some questions even in the chat coming in. Make sure that you sign up for that one-on-one phone call. Write those questions down. I'll be happy to cover any questions that you have, on that one-on-one after this presentation. So your Medicare coverage choices. Again, there's two different options. This is a little flow chart that kind of shows the two different paths you can go down. On the one end here, you have original Medicare. We know what that is. It's Part A. Part B But in order to cover those exposures, you're going to need to add a Part C. I'm sorry. You're going to need to add a Medicare supplement plan, right? So what that is you have your Part A, your Part B, and then you choose a supplement plan that's going to cover those exposures that we talked about, the $1,600 hospital deductible, the 20% on the Part B side. So in addition to that, if you go that route, you'll also need to get a Part D prescription drug coverage to make sure that all of your medications are covered. So that's the Med Sup side, right? Medicare, and forgive me for using that abbreviation, Medicare Supplement. The other side is Medicare Advantage. So this is often referred to as Part C, right? And so the way this works is Medicare contracts out the Part A and the Part B coverages to a private insurance company. So you're no longer dealing directly with Medicare. You're dealing with whichever one of these private insurance companies that you choose to go with. So there are a lot of options, right? There are a lot of companies available. We personally work with over 25 of these different companies. So we'll make sure that we navigate which one of those companies is best for you and your situation, based on where you're at, your zip code. All of those different factors play a role. So I'm sure you've heard of many of these Medicare Advantage companies, Humana, United Healthcare, Aetna, you name it, the list goes on. We work with all of those companies. And one thing to keep in mind as well, Medicare Advantage is more of a sort of a package plan. It comes with your Part A, your Part B. It also, more oftentimes than not, most of the time it has your Part D prescription drug coverage as well. And even dental, hearing, and vision oftentimes come as part of the Medicare Advantage plan. So again, drastically different than Med Sup, Medicare Supplement, and we'll make sure that we break those down for you. I do have a little chart here. It's going to make it much easier to understand, the pros and cons between, are you a Medicare Supplement type person or are you a Medicare Advantage type person? I think by the end of this presentation, you'll have a good idea which side of the fence you're on. And if it's not crystal clear to you, then make sure that you, mention that in our one-on-one phone call. And I guarantee you I can help you, make it crystal clear and make sure that you're without a doubt making the right decision. So Medicare supplement plans, the coverage, it's the lowest out-of-pocket costs when seeing doctors and hospitals. It's by far the most robust coverage. So with that being said, you're going to pay for that in monthly premium, right? The old saying, you get what you pay for, right? So with Medicare supplement, you're going to have the best coverage, but you're going to pay the highest monthly premium. So you will have your Part B a premium of $164.90, no matter which route you choose. The $164.90, anyone on Medicare Part B is going to have that. So you have the Part B premium of $165 plus the Medicare supplement plan is going to be an additional charge in monthly premium. A wonderful thing about Medicare supplement is the network. So really you get to choose any doctor that is contracted with Medicare in the United States. No referrals needed. I think something like 97 to 98% of doctors are contracted with Medicare. So, you're not going to have any problem making sure that, you get the right doctor, the right specialist, etc. In addition to the Medicare supplement, if you go this route, you'll need a standalone Part D prescription drug policy. And so it doesn't have to be the same company. It's a standalone drug plan. And we'll talk about this in just a minute here. So now looking over at the Medicare Advantage side of things, right? Looking into kind of the details of how those work, the coverage, you're going to have higher out-of-pocket costs when seeing doctors or going to the hospital, etc. Okay, so you will pay a lower monthly premium. In fact, many of these Medicare Advantage plans, depending on where you're at, your zip code, many of them have a $0 monthly premium. So you're actually, paying, let's say $150 less per month than you would with a Medicare supplement plan. However, kind of in response to that, you're going to have higher out-of-pocket costs. So when you're receiving care, your responsibility, right, the amount you'll have to pay will be higher than it would on the Medicare supplement side. So that's the way Medicare Advantage works, right? You pay less monthly, but then when you actually use the coverage, you're going to have to pay more in bills, etc. The network, you can choose only doctors that are contracted within that specific company's network, within that plan's network. So let's say you have an existing doctor. When we're choosing a plan, we're going to have to look and make sure that that doctor is in fact in network with that plan and that company. So not a big, it's pretty simple to do. It's just, a box to check, if you will. Now, when it comes to specialists and that kind of things, typically you'll need a referral. I really do believe that in today's senior market, they have done a great job, they being the insurance companies, in kind of expanding the network of these Medicare Advantage plans, many of the HMOs, etc. So that's kind of how the network works. And then prescription drug coverage, Part D, actually comes as a part of the Medicare Advantage plan. It's almost like a package deal, if you will. Your Part A, your Part B, as well as your Part D prescription drug coverage. And actually many of the plans nowadays, just depending if they're available in your area, include dental, hearing, and vision as well, which is really, really a great benefit that a lot of clients love, kind of having that everything combined under one roof, in one package. And so we'll talk more about Medicare Advantage here after a while, but for now we're going to start with Original Medicare, kind of getting into the specifics of how a Medicare supplement plan would work if you chose to go that route. So remember, you have your looking at the major exposures, because I'm going to show you how we eliminate those exposures. Is your Part A hospital coverage, $1,600 deductible, as well as your Part B. You're looking at the 20% co-insurance. Excuse me. I'm the only one talking here, so got a little thirsty there. Excuse me. So here is the Medicare and You handbook. This is the chart that is straight out of the Medicare and You handbook. You probably received that from Medicare.gov. You might have that on the corner of your dining room table over there collecting dust. But so Plan G is really what we're going to be focusing on today, because Plan G is as robust as it gets when it comes to which Medicare supplement plans are available in today's market. So Plan G, like we just mentioned, the $1,600 deductible for your hospital coverage is completely covered at 100%, right? So if you have Plan G, you'll never have to pay that $1,600 deductible. The other exposure we talked about is the 20% co-insurance, right? That is 100% covered here as well. Completely eliminates that exposure. The only thing you would have to pay if you had a Plan G is your Part D deductible, your Part B deductible, which is the $233 per year, right? That's the only thing that you are personally responsible for. So just a quick example, looking at Plan G. So say you go into a hospital and you rack up a $100,000 bill, and you have Medicare Plan G. So you get the bill comes in, but the only thing you have to pay out of $100,000 is $233. Once you meet that $233, you're done. You're completely covered for the rest of that calendar year. I mean, I can't make this stuff up. It's awesome. It's as good as it gets. But most of my clients we're looking at Plan G. I mean, that's usually what I recommend. If you'd like to look into some of the others, just make sure to make note of that and mention that to me. But I do strongly recommend Plan G. It makes your life very easy to budget. No surprise, visits to the mailbox and you get some, outrageous bill. None of that kind of thing. So key points to understand about Medicare supplements. The best time to enroll is 6 months prior to your birthday month. The reason for that is you can lock in the lowest rates. If say you do it 6 months prior to your birthday and you catch the rates lower, if they've gone higher by the time your birthday month rolls around, you've already locked in those lower rates. So that's why you want to do it 6 months out. It also helps you to avoid mistakes. If there are any issues that are ran into, it gives us ample time. We can, at our office, you can get with our office and we'll make sure to, correct anything that might have, been submitted wrong. But another thing is you check it off your list, right? So when you're turning 65, I know many of my clients, it's a very busy season of their life. There's a lot going on. You might be retiring. You're working on going on to Social Security possibly. There's just a lot going on at that stage of life. So this is one thing to check off the list and be done with. Another key point, these are standardized plans. So the supplement plans are federally regulated. The coverage follows the coverage actually follows the letter of the plan and not the company offering it. So what I mean by that is Plan G coverage from company A, let's say, is exactly the same coverage as Plan G from company X, Y, or Z. The only difference is so again, just to kind of say that again, the coverage is the same no matter which company you go with. The only thing that can change is what that specific company charges in monthly premium, right? One company might charge you $100 a month and the other might charge you $130 a month. So we'll make sure to help navigate all the different, 20 plus carriers we work with that might be able to offer you coverage and make sure that we pick the best plan at the best cost. Another thing to consider about that is customer service. So we have plenty of experience working with many of these companies and definitely have some that we really enjoy working with. So if you would like any recommendations as far as that goes, feel free to ask me when we talk one-on-one, and I'll be happy to go over all that with you. So what is the cost of Plan G? This is the golden question, so to speak, right? So it's going to be dependent upon what zip code you're in, right? Where you're at geographically. And like I mentioned, the insurance company that we choose, of the 20 plus different companies, there's a variety of monthly premium costs. So we'll navigate that, but it's typically on average going to be somewhere between $100 and $200 a month. Just kind of as a general rule of thumb. So these are many of the companies that we work with. My office, we are a broker, so there's no bias towards any of these companies. We truly choose based on your best interest, right? So we get paid the same regardless which company that you go with. And the way it works is the insurance company pays us for helping you get enrolled and choosing a plan, right? So part of that is making sure that you fill out all the paperwork properly and all that good stuff that comes with that. One myth is when you're working with a broker, you actually have to pay them for their services. I'm here to debunk that myth. You don't have to pay us a dime. The insurance company does that. Again, we're here for you. We're here, not only to help you get enrolled, but year after year, while you have that plan, the insurance company continues to pay us to be that expert for you, and that helps us to continuously be there in customer service for you. You'll have an expert in your back pocket helping out every step of the way. You can look at this list here. You've probably heard of many of them: Aetna, Mutual of Omaha, Humana, Cigna, United Healthcare. It goes on. We work with them all, and we'll help choose based on not only what's best for you, but even if you have a preference, no problem. We can go with your company of choice. So, quick review: Plan G versus Plan N. These are two of the most popular supplement plans. I, of course, like I mentioned, always recommend Plan G, because with Plan N, you might be able to save, say, $20 a month in monthly premium, but almost always you're going to end up paying for that in the additional expenses, maybe with even the first couple months of having it. So, again, if that's something you'd like to discuss in further detail, be happy to do that with you. So this is kind of it for the original Medicare route. As far as the Medicare supplement side of things, next we're going to look at the prescription drug plan, because again, remember, you'll need to add that separately as well. So adding prescription drug coverage, I want you guys to know, just kind of disclaimer, there is absolutely no way to make a prescription drug plan, coverage a fun topic. There's no way to make this prescription drug plan coverage a fun topic. And so just bear with me, because it is an important topic. We must cover it. And so because it's important for a lot of people, just know if you have an extensive list of medications on that one-on-one phone call with me, we'll be able to plug in each of those individual prescriptions one by one and find out exactly what they cost with your specific plan. So going through some quick stages here as far as the prescription drug coverage goes. You have your deductible stage. This is the amount of medication, the amount that your medication costs you before your coverage kicks in, right? Your next step is going to be the initial coverage stage, and you pay copay for each drug you're taking when you pick it up from the pharmacy until the total retail cost hits a maximum of $4,430, and then you go to the coverage gap phase, which is where you'll have to pay 25% of all prescription drug costs until you reach $7,050 out of your pocket for the year. So after that is the catastrophic coverage stage. In this final stage, you pay about 5% of the drug costs for the rest of that year. Now, I know this is a lot. Again, you don't have to worry so much about this, because when we plug in all of your prescriptions, we're going to make sure that we have a good idea of what you're going to be looking at and how we can avoid, some of these different coverage gaps, and we'll make sure to in-depth explain it all to you as far as what you're going to expect to have to pay for your drugs with your plan D. Okay, so our Part D process here at our office, I think we have a unique way that we approach the Part D process, because remember, we have a lifetime service guarantee, so that extends into your prescription drug coverage as well. And one of the things that we do on that one-on-one phone call is, again, we input each of those prescriptions into the calculator. We'll choose the pharmacy, and so that we'll have, to the cent what you're going to expect to pay. And then we'll compare all the different options based on your zip code. And that'll then allow us to choose from the 25 or so different companies. So after that, we'll enroll you into the plan. We can do that over the phone. If you're local, you can feel free to come into our office. Nowadays, many people prefer to just do it over the phone, but it's whichever way you would like to do. And then lastly, we'll reevaluate, right? Prescriptions can change. Your medications change. We can reevaluate that annually and make sure that you're in the best plan, for your situations, your medications, etc. Lastly, for the prescription drug coverage, there is a Part D late enrollment penalty. So this is a 1% penalty for every month that you could have had the coverage, but you chose not to enroll. So many people oftentimes will say, Jordan, I don't take any prescriptions. I don't need a Plan D. And that's not the right route to take, because if you take no prescription drugs, we can get you in a very low cost, kind of the lowest monthly premium plan, and that's going to end up costing you less than this 1% penalty for not having done it at all. So if that's you don't have any prescriptions, we can talk about that, and we'll make sure to get you a very low cost Part D plan. So original Medicare recap, you're going to pay your Part B premium of $164.90. Remember, everybody pays that. And then your Medicare supplement plan is going to vary depending upon your zip code and which plan you decide to choose, which company you decide to choose, that is, but usually between $100 and $200 per month. And then your prescription drug plan, these vary as well, but you could get something as low as $10, $15 per month. And that's about it for the Medicare supplement route. If you think you're a Medicare supplement person, just kind of make note of that, and I can help you, verify that, or we can kind of, on our one-on-one phone call, we'll explore all of these options that we just went over. But your next option, which is option 2, is Medicare Advantage plans, right? So these you've probably, again, seen these advertised a lot. There are some things that can sometimes be wrongly advertised, but I hope I can help break these down for you. Medicare Advantage, again, is kind of a package deal. You have your Part A, your Part B, and your Part D, all within the one plan. And so let's kind of break down exactly how the Medicare Advantage works, right? Let me move this over here. So it's a health insurance plan that is managed by a private health insurance company. This covers Part A and Part B services. These plans cover all of Part A and Part B, and again, oftentimes include your prescription drug coverage as well. Premiums are often advertised as zero, no monthly premium plans, $0 monthly premium. And so one thing you want to just keep in mind is, although the Medicare Advantage plan doesn't cost you a premium, or, potentially you can choose one that doesn't cost you a premium, you still are responsible to pay the $164.90 for the Part B, which is automatically taken from your Social Security check, or you pay directly, right? So that's just something to keep in mind. Some people get that confused. They say, I thought this was a $0 monthly premium. It is, but you still have to pay your Part B. Okay, so the coverage itself, there's co-pays, there's deductibles, co-insurances, out-of-pocket maximums. These are different expenses that you're responsible for when you have medical care or hospitalizations, etc., which could possibly charge thousands of dollars, or cost you, thousands of dollars per year, depending on the plan you choose, right? Which at the end of the day, there will be no surprises because, when we look into the plans that are available in your area, we'll know all these different details as far as, what your specific plan has with it, as far as these personal expenses that you're responsible for. So this is the awesome part of it, I think. Many Medicare Advantage plans include dental, hearing, and vision at no additional charge and premium. So there's a lot of them that will give you X amount to spend on dental work for the year. So they actually give you, they enable you to go and have maybe some dental work that you couldn't pay for otherwise. That's under the dental coverage. Vision, obviously, you might be able to get a set of eyeglasses, have your vision checked annually, etc. And then hearing, there are some plans that give you a free set of hearing aids with it. So there are really some awesome options available. We'll just have to figure out, are those available in your area? Some plans do have what's called a Part B give back. You might have seen this advertised where they say, we'll put money back in your pocket, and that is definitely a real thing. So the insurance company will actually pay you back all or a portion of the $165 Part B premium that you have. Just keep in mind that anytime you choose a plan like this, it goes back to the whole you get what you pay for thing. So if you're gonna receive this benefit, you're probably gonna pay for it as far as the coverage that you're given with that plan goes. So some scenarios, individuals can really use this money, so it makes sense to do. We'll just have to look and see if that's something that's worth doing for you. And lastly, the Medicare Advantage networks. I think this is a highly debated topic or subject because you have both your HMO plans and your PPO plans. So traditionally, historically, PPO plans are kind of the best coverage, right? They have a much broader network, and HMOs were a little more restricted. But these, in today's senior health market, these insurance companies have really done a great job in expanding their network with HMOs. So, what we found with our clients is that sometimes the HMO coverage is, as good as they need. So, definitely something to keep in mind there. HMO doesn't always have to be a bad thing, like some make it out to be. So, how and when to sign up, right? That's a big question, of course. The initial enrollment period at age 65, right? If you'd like the plan to start the first day of your birth month, then you'll need to sign up in one of the 3 months leading up to your 65th. So we always recommend getting it done as soon as possible, which is 3 months prior to the month that you turn 65. There's a lot of benefits to doing it that way. And so just make sure you get with us on that. And that'll be covered in your, when we schedule that one-on-one call on the My Medicare roadmap, it'll kind of lay out all those steps on exactly what you need to do. So the annual election period, this is a period every year where they give you the option to change plans if you so wanted to. With our office, we do an annual review where we get on the phone, or you can come into the office and we'll review the new plans that are out for that year based on, kind of comparing it to your current coverage and seeing if it's worth switching plans. Oftentimes we don't change companies, right? If you're with Humana, we keep you with Humana, but maybe go with the new plan that they came out with that year. But we'll make sure to definitely review that and make sure you're in the best spot possible each year during that time period. Just keep in mind, if you do switch plans, the new plan will not be effective until January 1st of that following year. And your coverage from the previous year will, of course, remain in place until that point. So real quick, just comparing the two different options between Medicare supplement, and we're getting kind of to the end here. This is more of a recap. The two different options that you're going to have to choose from: Medicare supplement, Medicare Advantage. I won't bore you with reading through these again. I think the main thing I'll say is Medicare supplement, as a big picture overview, is that you pay a higher monthly premium, right? $100, $200 a month. But for that, you're purchasing knowing that you're not going to have any surprise costs, right? You're paying for the best level of coverage. You know that, hey, it makes it easy to budget, right? I'm paying $150 a month, but I'm not going to have any surprise charges throughout the year for my medical needs, etc. So that's the one side, right? Now the other side, Medicare Advantage, you're gonna pay, you're gonna save $100 to $200 a month, right? So let's say you save $150 a month, but when you go to the doctor, right, when you have these different medical expenses arise, you're gonna pay more out of pocket. So it's kind of just a matter of looking at where you're at from, a health standpoint. How are things going? Are you going to the doctor twice a year? Are you going to the doctor twice a month? Right? How are things financially? Is the $150 a month something that you can comfortably afford, or would it maybe make sense saving that monthly and then just kind of maybe dealing with the medical expenses as they come up? So again, a lot to consider. We can discuss this on our one-on-one phone conversation, and I'd be happy to help you choose which one of these options make the most sense for you and your life circumstances. So here we are, kind of nearing the end of this presentation today. I know you've gotten a lot of value out of this today. We do get a lot of compliments. I'm seeing a lot of them in the chat down here. So thank you. I appreciate the kind words. We've done this a lot, and I really enjoy what I do. So far, we've gone over the phase one, my online video content, and today's educational seminar. One thing I like to say is if you got a lot of value out of this, and there's someone in your life that could really use the clarity that you've gotten, make sure to share this with them, whether it's a family member, a friend, a coworker. If you need me to, send you the link to the video, feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to do that. So that's phase one. Phase two is scheduling your free consultation. So in this is a chance to discuss your specific situation, get expert help on choosing the right plans in, your not only your area, but your life circumstances, like we talked about, right? This is when you'll receive your bonus items that we talked about. So bonus item number one is your personalized Medicare roadmap. This is a step-by-step action guide that's really going, again, to show you, what steps you need to take and in what order. So that's like, hey, Bob, hey, Mary, on August 1st, this is what you need to do. On November 1st, this is what you should do, right? So that's the personalized Medicare roadmap. Bonus item number two is the My Medicare Cost Summary. What that does is outlines your total monthly costs, right? So this is based on the plans that you like, right? We'll look at that. We'll see exactly what it would cost, not only in monthly premium, but also in, expected or anticipated out-of-pocket costs, such as prescription drugs, any specialist you see, that kind of thing. So you'll know exactly, that is with this My Medicare Cost Summary, you'll know exactly where your money is going and why it's going there, right? Which is important. So phase three, As a client of ours, you get free lifetime billing and claim services. This is either from our client service team or myself. So, again, what that looks like is, calling into the office. You're not going to get a 1-800 number or, be put on hold. It'll either be me or one of my great team members that will be helping you out. But we really pride ourselves on checking in with you, making sure you got your ID cards in the mail, sending Christmas cards, birthday cards, and then when rate changes occur, letting you know. So you'll, not be caught off guard by that. A quick story I did want to share on that note is, imagine this, right? So you decide to sign up with a plan with us later in the year. You walking out to the mailbox, a nice spring day, birds are chirping. You open the mail and you see a $2,000 medical bill that frankly should not have been charged to you, right? And so you give us a call. Myself or one of our team members pick up the phone and you share that with us. We say, hey, Mr. Jones, no problem. Let me get on this, right? We will make sure to reach out to the doctor, the hospital, whoever it is, clear that up. Also kind of coordinate with the insurance company, make sure everyone's on the same board. And so later on that day, or the next day, whatever the case may be, you get a call from our office. Mr. Jones, just want to let you know everything's been taken care of. You were right. That was a major mistake on their end. It happens, but you're good to go. So that's the kind of thing that we really pride ourselves on. And I share that just to help explain that you'll have no shortage of help from us here at our office. So, I'm super excited to have you guys. It's been great spending time with you today. I'm glad that you're here. We really do pride ourselves on being a big family here, and so again, thank you for being here today. Now it's time to book your one-on-one phone call. This is scheduling that free consultation that we talked about, right? So go ahead, beneath this screen, there should be a gold telephone. I can't really see exactly what you're seeing, but I know it should be right below the screen. That's a gold telephone. When you click on that, it's going to take you to a scheduling page, which you'll be able to pick a time to have that one-on-one phone call with myself. Right now, I'm doing all the calls myself. I don't see that changing anytime soon, but when you do click that, that'll schedule that time with myself. We only have about 35 slots available, typically in our week, right? So for helping people. And so I know I want to say there's only 100 different slots available for this presentation over the next couple weeks. So it's kind of a first come, first serve basis. So as much as I would love to speak to everyone and help everyone, I have a family. I have a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old. And so I kind of only have so much time in the day to spend helping you folks out. And then the rest of the time I'm helping my family. So make sure that you go ahead and click that link right now. Schedule that appointment. That'll kind of allow us to talk and go through that process, get you those bonus items, which will really help you in knowing what to expect in this transition to Medicare. I'm thrilled that you're here. Thank you for giving us the time today. And also thank you for taking the time to invest in yourself, right? I think investing this time to help make you make that good decision that's going to last a lifetime is a really good investment, and you're going to get a good return on investment, I believe. So any questions that you have, you know where we're at. Make sure to reach out, but go now and click the link now. Book your call. I look forward to talking with you. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Again, my name is Jordan Schwabe here at Endurance Financial and Insurance Group. Thank you for tuning in today. And as always, God bless you.